Hello, folks! Welcome back to our channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing another episode of Medium, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 18th episode of the second season called S.O.S. S.O.S. indeed. The episode was directed by Tim Squires, written by Rob Perlstein, and it originally aired on April 17th, 2006. Wow, this episode was so good. What's it about? Basically, Allison has a dream at the beginning in which she sees a young woman, a young girl, maybe in her teens, like 18 years old. She's 18 years old. She's a college student, and basically she goes to that I believe it's some kind of a national park, and basically there's that big rock that she climbs, and in which basically people would spray paint things on it. But basically what happens is that she slips and falls. So later on, as it's a Saturday, Allison and Joe have to entertain their children by usually taking them to the mall. But because of her dream, Allison decides to take the whole family on some kind of a camping trip, you might say. And not really like camping. Yeah, pretty much like camping, hiking, that sort of thing. So basically, they go hiking in this national park. And then later on, Bridget is going to find a bloody backpack, right? So Allison and Joe and the family are going to go to the district attorney. And Allison is going to share her findings with the district attorney. And then later on, they're going to find out that there's a serial killer on the loose when more victims are going to basically turn up. And it seems that this man basically has some abilities, but he uses them in a bad way. And he finds the girls who are, in trouble. They're kind of in the middle of nowhere with nobody to help them, to rescue them. And he takes advantage of the situation. And he's a serial killer and a serial rapist, so he does some pretty awful things to them, some pretty gruesome things to them. And he's labeled the Bad Samaritan. The Bad Samaritan, indeed. So basically, Allison is going to have some other dreams in which she's going to try and save a girl, a young woman, from becoming the next victim. But then as she does so, her secret might have been compromised. Her abilities might have been compromised because of that. So she has to have that attend that press conference in which she explains a little bit about what she does. She explains a little bit about how she was able to warn the victim in time by basically not really lying, but kind of keeping her real secret a secret, keeping it a secret, keeping it under wrap, because she doesn't want the whole world knowing about her, because it might be dangerous, and it might put the whole family, in not really a very good spot, not a very nice spot. And in the meantime, Bridget is she has to speak about one of her parents' jobs for show and tell at school, and she decides to tell her class about her mother, Allison's job at the district attorney. But basically, she's going to talk about dead people and stuff while she's basically practicing in front of her family. So Allison gets a little worried about it and tells her that she should basically try and avoid speaking like that, especially since she's in kindergarten, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, she has to keep some things like secret, I guess. So there's that whole secret thing that is kind of revolving around this episode. But yeah, this is basically it, I guess. So what was this episode like? You see, this is what I love about Medium. This show is so awesome, and one of the main things why it's as awesome as it is, why it's as awesome as it is because it's really scary, and it really kind of gets you by surprise. In my opinion, this episode did an awesome job at that. S.O.S. was an awesome episode. I loved it so much. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes from the show, especially with this whole serial killer plot. And at some point, Allison is going to get a call in the middle of the night. It's going to be pretty scary, pretty terrifying, but I'll let you find out for yourselves what it is about. But the serial killer might be watching as well, so that's pretty terrifying, actually. So yeah, this episode was awesome. Even like the beginning, where you have basically Allison talking about the very name, the very title of the episode, S.O.S., and you'll find out for yourselves what it means. Basically, the title of the episode is relevant to this episode because it is mentioned a few times in this episode, really. But yeah, this episode was awesome. I really loved it. Really loved having the family kind of. This episode, this one was pretty family oriented in a way, family centered, family oriented, whatever you wanna call it. It was more about the family, but at the same time, Allison's job is part of the episode too. But yeah, I guess you could say it was very family oriented. This episode, that is. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. This episode was awesome. The beginning, the way it plays out, everything about this episode was so smoothly put, smoothly, yeah, made, smoothly laid out for the viewers. I really had so much fun watching this episode. Really, I had a blast watching it. I really can't wait to hear about other people's thoughts on it. But yeah, so if I were to rate this episode on a scale from 1 to 10, I believe I would give it a very solid, a very strong 9 out of 10. It was an awesome episode. I loved it so much, especially with the whole family being kind of in this episode. They really came together in the beginning, and then the scary scenes at night. In the middle of the night, there's a scene like in some kind of like a highway, you might say, in a deserted place. Yes, all around, like there's desert spreading for miles on either sides of the street, on either sides of the road, on either sides of the road. Man, that was awesome. And even like the final twist was pretty great in my opinion. And I'll let you find out for yourselves. Will Allison be able to save the day or not? I'm not gonna spoil it. It's awesome though. I really love this episode, really. You gotta watch this show, man. You gotta give it a shot. If you haven't watched this show, what are you waiting for? I'm kidding. I'm not trying to sound like conceited or mean or anything. But it's so worth it, and this episode definitely did an awesome job at keeping the viewers at the edge of their seats and keeping us invested in the story and how it plays out. Really, some of the things I love the most about the show are all in this episode, if that makes sense. That episode was awesome. It was family oriented, while at the same time being very, like, it had a very gruesome case. And even at some point, Allison is going to be worried about her husband and her family because of what they've been so close to. Something they might have been, something they might have been exposed to, something they might have experienced. I'll let you find out for yourselves. Excuse me. I'll let you find out. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit of a cold here. I really hope you watch it. If you haven't watched it, I really advise you to watch it because it was awesome and I really loved it. So if I were to give this episode a rating, I believe I already said it, but I'll give it 9 out of 10. It was so awesome. And I really, totally, definitely, totally recommend it to anyone who is a fan of the show. To anyone who might be interested in the show, for that matter. So that's pretty much it for that review. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, sorry. 9 out of 10 is the rating I'd give this episode. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. What about you, folks? What do you think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below, folks. I really would love to hear about your thoughts and views on this episode. But I almost forgot. Let me say a few things about the actors. So basically, we have Jim Holmes as the caller. Jim Holmes as the caller. Tanya Raymond as Taylor Green. She was awesome. She was one of the she was a high school student. She was like a young girl, a young woman who got the call. Then we have Tina D. Joseph as Linda Novi, Elizabeth Payne as the teacher, Mary Strong as a reporter, Amber Burrito as the college girl, Helena Barrett as the young woman hiker, and Dan Walters as the detective. Yeah, those are the main actors in this episode. They were pretty awesome, especially Tanya Raymond, in my opinion, did an awesome job, and so did Jim Holmes. Yeah, all of them were pretty awesome. Elizabeth Payne was in another episode in the first season, season 1, episode 4, I believe. But yeah, all of them were awesome in this episode. So that's pretty much it for that review. That wraps it up, I guess. So thank you for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next review very soon, God willing, for another episode review. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. Goodbye. Take care. And let me know about your thoughts on this episode. Goodbye. Take care. This is Horror Channel for you. Signing off.